Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. The New Mutants, number 19 from 1984, written by Chris Claremont, drawn by Bill Sienkiewicz. This is Bill Sienkiewicz's second issue. Real quick here, you can see here that the cover was, or the logo was probably torn a little bit so that you could see a little bit of that background there. So that's pretty cool. Bill Sienkiewicz started painting. This is not the typical stuff that you were seeing, but there was definitely a change happening here. And Bill Sienkiewicz really went head on into painting. It's he's so talented. So, all right, here we go. Chris Claremont writes, Bill Sienkiewicz draws. Tom Rizikowski and Glynis Wein are the lettering and coloring team from Uncanny X-Men, and Nascenti is the new editor as Louise Simonson has left. Jim Shooter's still around here. So we've got the hospital, and we've got these three EMTs, and they're bringing Danny in. This one here says, we got a bad one here. So Siege is the title of our story. Bill Sienkiewicz signed this cover himself, which you didn't see very much. Other than Walter Simonson, you didn't see too many people signing. And so, who is she? Daniel Moonstar, a student over at Xavier's. And so, they need blood now. Multiple lacerations, shoulders, extremities. I'm barely getting a pulse, says the nurse here. Visible compound fractures, femur and fibula. Possible abdominal trauma, crushed and sublux vertebrae, skull trauma, possible concussion, probable flail chest. Love the coloring of the red and the pinkish here. It's a miracle she's lasted this long. She's one tough kid. What's on her paint? Oh, sorry, on her face. War paint? Prep the OR. Stat. I want her in surgery as fast as possible. And here they cut off her jacket and throw it out. What about x-rays? No time, says the doctor. So, and did they really have viewing areas back then where people could see? I hope none of you has any plans for this evening. We're going to be here quite a while. So, excuse me. I'm Tom Corsi, Westchester County Police. Are you kids with the young lady? Yes, we're her classmates, sir. I'm Sam Guthrie, and then, of course, they introduce Roberto da Costa. So, Sam is Cannonball. Roberto da Costa is Sunspot. Amara Aquila would be Magma. And Rain Sinclair, of course, is Wolfsbane. And Liliana Rasputin will be Magic. And she's also Colossus' sister. So, how's Danny? Will she be alright? Asks Ileana. I don't know, Ileana. I haven't seen wounds like that since Vietnam. We'll just have to wait and see what happened. And Sam says, near as we can figure, sir, she was mauled by a bear. And he kind of stops and just like, what? In Westchester County, you gotta be kidding me. Of course, senor, this is one elaborate practical joke. And the cop's like, I didn't mean it that way. Then do something besides standing around here like babbling like an idiot. And Magma's like, Roberto, it isn't the officer's fault. He's doing his best to help. Of course, Bobby has a very a temper. So, and so the nurse comes out. I'll go, son, as soon. Sorry, that's the cop still. I'll go, son, as soon as I get all the facts. And the nurse comes out. I heard yelling. What's going on? And Sam says, sorry, ma'am, we're a bit on edge. And the nurse says, I understand, but keep it down, okay? Your friend's holding her own. She's a real fighter. That's a good sign. And Rain, of course, is still praying. Dear Lord, let Danny be well and let her live here. So great. Look at this. The hospital, the snowstorm. Oh my goodness. You just didn't, even nowadays, you just don't see such, um, what would you say, compositions like this, especially in a comic book. You kids attend Xavier's, right? Aha, that's right, Mr. Corsi. Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. And so, look at this Terry Austin fan club here on the hat. So, we get a little bit of thoughts here about what mutants are, and then he says, Denny's folks are dead. Her grandpa recently passed away. The professor has been taking her care of her. He's her legal guardian. I'm kind of paraphrasing it because there's a lot in there. So he's in Massachusetts and will be back tomorrow. And then the police officer says, yeah, it's pretty bad. I'll try to get word to him through the state police. We'll organize the search for your bear at first light, assuming the storm breaks by then. And the nurse says, if all goes well, Danny will be on the table for hours. And Eliana asks, what are her chances, really? I won't lie, says the nurse. She's been terribly hurt. You shouldn't get your hopes up too high. Since you're staying here, the best thing you can do is get some rest. I'll scrounge up some pillows and blankets. As soon as I hear any good news or bad, I'll let you know. Real quick here, I want to point out that this is very good. There is nothing. It's just her and the kids here. There's no chairs. There's no nothing. And Bill Sienkiewicz to create just something to give the to give something. He just does splotch. Look at this. Just an ink, almost as if she was walking into through a door or something. He doesn't. I mean, how absolutely remarkable that is. So next here we have Sunspot, and of course he's temperamental here. I love the yellow, a little bit of orange, and the red there. And he's like, why did it have to snow tonight? We're stuck in this hospital when we should be at home following that monster's trail. Waste of time, Bobby. You won't find that critter there. It'll be here. And that was Sam, and Sunspot's like, what? And Sam says, stands to reason, ever since we've known her, Danny's had a special fear of a spirit bear. She said murdered her parents. None of us really gave that story much credit. After all, who believes in magic? Except Eliana, a real witch, and we fought demons and sorcerers. Maybe Danny wasn't kidding, says Cannonball. Eliana tells me Danny spent last week or so on the danger room fighting bears. Tonight, she walked out into a storm alone, armed with a bow and arrow, wearing a war paint, and got mauled. We were wrong to doubt her. We should have listened. We should have seen the signs, says Cannonball here. Again, look at how much black Bill Sienkiewicz spots. I figured she faced her nightmare beast, but somehow, heaven knows why, it didn't kill her. Even money says it'll try again. And look at this exterior shot of the clinic, our hospital here. And this is the ideal place and time, with Danny's life hanging by a thread in the operating room. If I'm right, the New Mutants are the only hope she's got. So on his backpack, he takes everybody's uniforms. Sam, this is Danny's belt, a keepsake from her mom. May I wear it, please? And Cannonball says, sure, Carrot Top. I don't think she'd mind. So again, look at the mess that Bill Sienkiewicz draws like, and I say that in a good way. That this isn't criticizing him, because the guy is a master. Oh my goodness gracious, he's absolutely one of my favorites here. Just how he just throws. If you ever watch him on YouTube, watch some of his videos, how he composes a drawing. It's fantastic. So Cannonball continues here. You two girls have a special rapport, don't you, Rain? Whenever you turn into a wolf. Bobby, we need some privacy. Can you handle it? And Bobby says, "You have Sunspot's word, Sam. So long as I hold this door, no power on Earth will open it. I ain't worried about the Hulk, Bobby. Only the nurse." And so here we go. And look, she carries a crucifix. This is the thing about then and now and Chris Claremont now. Whereas now, the way these current writers are, they're all like, the religious thing and all that, but it creates humanity. It creates, because human beings, they're people that believe. I mean, Chris Claremont tried to embrace everything and embrace all these differences in people. He just, you know, if you notice the way the New Mutants are written, the X-Men are written, anything Chris Claremont writes, he just puts in the work and effort. A lot of modern writers just don't understand. I don't know. So, all right. So you can see here. Then, of course, Rain turns into Wolfsbane, and look at Magma and Ileana here by Hectate. Sam, what's happened to her? She's so different, of course. Um, Rain says, "It's not simply my looks. I can feel a wild power within me. That's frightening, yet natural and right." Rain, can you mind link with Danny? Can you hear her thoughts? "Yes, Sam, yes," says Wolfsbane. Look at the coloring, too, which Bill Sienkiewicz is not doing. And then look at this. No panel here. Uh, it's just so creative. Everything Bill Sienkiewicz is doing is so creative. "I'm aware of her, and she of me, but the images are broken, blurry. I can barely understand them. 'Tis the doctors. They've given her medicine to put her to sleep." And Cannonball says, "Try harder, Rain, but be careful. We don't want to make things worse." Um, Danny, Rain, "Do you hurt?" "Only when I laugh, giggle." "Just kidding, kiddo. I really can't feel a thing. It's bliss." And of course, the doctor's like, "Her back's broken. Poor kid. Even if she survives, she'll be totally paralyzed." Rain, the bear, listen, must tell. Heart rate's increasing. She's regaining consciousness. Don't let her. Blast it. Administer more anesthetic. Her system can't handle the strain. We're losing her. They say here. So again, look at this. Bill Sienkiewicz was supposed to take over X-Men, but he declined it. I think people would have complained. Honestly, the way people are, if you put this different work, people would have just, they would have had a fit. So, all right. So Wolfsbane here, and I know that it's very difficult to see, but I think these are her hands here. So she's covering her face, I think. So I think these are her hands. Here, "Sam, Danny's dying, and it's my fault," she says. "I could not hear her thoughts, so she forced herself to wake to project them louder," she says. "If anyone's responsible, child, it's me. I asked you to do it. The bear's not done with her, Sam. Danny's certain it'll come it'll come again." And she's crying here. "But I must." This is Rain here. "But I must have got the next bit wrong. She says the beast is mortally scared of her." And Cannonball asks why. "Because she possesses the power to destroy it." And Magma says, "Then why didn't she use the power to save herself?" And Rain says, "I don't know, Amara. She wasn't able to tell me, and I dare not ask her again. Oh, Sam, how can we fight such a fearsome creature of magic?" And Ileana says, "So am I. And when you want to be Rain, you can be pretty fearsome. Yourself. We'll give the beast a run for his money. Besides, it's not as if we have a choice," she says here. Beautiful panel here, and I love this. Look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. I just love this. Look at this. Just ink splots, just making an image. Um It's so different. I know people hated this. I remember when I was growing up, I was like, well, this is weird. I didn't hate it, but I just thought, these are a little bit hard to read when you are a kid trying to look through. These comic books were a little bit. It made me try to focus more, trying to make sense of it. I was very young when these came out. I was still in elementary school, so all right, Ileana's right. Uh, there's more at stake here than just Danny. This hospital's full of helpless patients. Who knows what the bear might do to them? Even if we can't kill it, we've at least got to keep it at bay till the professor and the X-Men can reach us. Like in the movies, eh, Sam? The besieged settlers holding out while the cavalry races to the rescue. For all our sakes, Bobby, they better arrive in time. Meanwhile, we have a red sun here, and we have the Starjammer. And so we have Chode here, and I forgot the name of this little thing here. And so, Corsair, what's the matter, says Chode. I was having the most marvelous of dreams, my friend. Who roused the Starjammers to the battle stations? And so we have Binary, Hepsala, and then Corsair here. Now, this is kind of cool because it looks so weird. And see what I mean? I'm pretty sure people would have absolutely hated this here. So, um, I just know it. So, Binary, who's Carol Danvers, says, "Sorry about that, Chud. I'm responsible." "Explain yourself," Binary says. Corsair, "Look, take a look at the main scanner," says Binary. "What is it?" says Corsair. "I believe both vessel and living being." And Corsair says, "With those power and performance reading, woman, impossible." And so they point at it. "Nevertheless, Corsair, it exists. An entity roughly the size of a human being traveling at ultra light velocities with an energy potential that matches that Starjammers. Is that a threat?" So this has to be Warlock, whom we met in the previous issue here. Before Binary can answer, Shara and whatever, "Preserve us," yells Chud. "What, pray tell, was that?" he says. "I say a bigger version of the original contact," so that would be Magnus. "Corsair, this is Waldo. Both entities are already out of scanning range. However, assuming a ballistic trajectory and projecting their course, they will definitely traverse the Sol system and quite possibly strike Earth." So, this is really cool. This is an absolutely wonderful panel. Both of them are here. And look how he draws Binary. Look at that mess. That is awesome. So, "Corsair, your children, my family, the X-Men. Can we go after those creatures?" Waldo says. Binary, "Pursue, yes. Catch, no." And Corsair says, "A Stargate would transport us home immediately." And Waldo says, "True. But by the time we constructed a portal large enough for the Starjammers, the entities would have already reached Terra. I'm sorry, Corsair. Even a subspace radio warning will arrive too late. Isn't there anything we can do?" And Lilandra says, "Wait, pray, and should the worst occur, avenge." So, all right, so back on Earth, and these are snow-covered trees. It's amazing how difficult it was for me to try to figure out what this was when I was young. But this is, of course, the hospital right here, and the trees. So it says here it's been 3 hours, and she's going through the surgery here. Again, I love the coloring that was chosen. So Wolfsbane's checking up on Danny, but she's like, "Oh my God, they're butchering her. I wanted to see how she was doing, but now I wish I'd never come. Forgive me, dear friend. I know it's a sin, but better you had died than lived to suffer." So she says. So, look at the magenta that Wolfsbane's colored too. And then of course, um, uh, she sees the police officer here, and so he's like, Hey! And so she sees the cop, and he's like, what the devil? You by the door, freeze, of course. Wolfsbane's gonna take off. He's like, can't let him catch me like this. I have to run. And he's like, I'm seeing things. It stands on two legs, but it looks more like a wolf than human. That's crazy. Halt or I'll fire. And then, of course, it's Rain here. Don't shoot, Mr. Corsi. It's only me, Rain. And then he's like, my God, was that you I just saw? What the heck are you doing, young lady? Why did you bolt like that? You nearly got yourself shot. And he says, I'm sorry. I was so worried about Danny, I could not sleep. In that case, in case of like this short stuff, no news is good news. And the cop is like, the lights are so blasted low. I'm too blasted tired. I mean, to mistake this kid by some kind of monster. Next, I'll be shooting at my own shadow. Come, I'll take you to back to bed. This time, stay there. That's where you belong, he says. So, all right. So here we have Corsi walking out. This waiting and that storm are driving everyone buggy. Thank heaven I didn't pull the trigger. Hi, Sharon. Got a minute? Sure, Tom. You okay? You look pale. And of course he says, call it a painful reminder of human fallibility. I just scared the life out of myself. And she says, oh? Any word on Danny? The kids were asking. And she, look at this guy. By the way, this is Alfred Hitchcock. So, Bill, and then this is Bill Sienkiewicz himself. So they drew he drew himself. So Bill Sienkiewicz here and Alfred Hitchcock here. That is so cool. So the nurse says, holding her own. That's a good sign. The longer she lasts, the better her chances. That hold true for me. In what sense? Says the nurse. You always work the graveyard shift. And she says, it's a staggered rotation. Do you? I got seniority. I can get it changed. Suppose I already have a guy. It never hurts to ask. You figure you're pretty hot stuff, huh, Corsi? Be daring, Friedlander. Find out for yourself. Suddenly, there's this growl here, and you can see the bear's imprints right there. That's just amazing here. Sharon, quiet. Did you hear something? It sounded like a growl. Tom, oh my God, Tom, as the two of them are attacked here. And look at this, just the screaming and just the face. This is so good. And I just know how much people would have hated Bill Sienkiewicz on X-Men. So, and suddenly you hear the shot, which wakes up Sam. And here come the New Mutants to run. Look over there by the nurse's station. Blood. That stench. I smelled it when I found Danny. Her bear's inside the hospital. He's here, says Rain. So, and Magma says the halls are deserted. None of us reacted to the noise. None save us reacted to the noise, but others must have heard it, unless the monster has carried them off as well. Roberta and Elena are at the surgery. We have to warn them. So, and here they are. And she's saying, please live. I could not bear to lose you as I did my beloved Juliana. And Ileana says, clear away from the door, Roberto. I'm casting the wards. And so she's creating a spell here. And she kind of faints, and Bobby says, I've got you. Thanks. I'll be okay in a minute. Most impressive. But will it work? Will your shield keep out the bear? And she goes, Roberto. As you can see here, kind of she senses something. Just look at that. Oh, look at this thick line. Oh, Bill Sienkiewicz. And here comes the bear. Look at that. That is just amazing, amazing, amazing. I think we're about to find out, she says. And so, let me at him, as he jumps out. Watch yourself, Buster, says Ileana. Don't waste your strength. You can't replace it until after sunrise. And remember, for all your power, you're not invulnerable, as the bear hits him here. I told you, dummy. And then he hits her, and she screams out in pain. I love this. Just the way he just uses that brush. No time to be fancy. I need my soul sword. At least my costume blunted the force of the creature's claws. And then suddenly she sees this. By the abyss, my arm. And she's got some kind of contraption in there. So that was me, my flesh. My sword is different too, but no less powerful. Scream, monster, scream. I hope I hurt you. And this here as he starts, and then nothing. Are you guys okay? Where's the bear? Gone, Sam. And then she thinks, and so's that weird stuff on my elbow. My costume looks as good as new. We're all right though. I'm a lot luckier than I deserve. And suddenly the lights go out, and nobody move, especially if you're holding a scalpel. The emergency generator should kick in automatically, and then the lights come on, and so I can't raise any of the duty staff or get an outside line. Forget it. Let's finish here while we're still able, says the other doctor here. The wind could have severed the power lines. You don't believe that any more than me. That critter's no dope. We'll have to split up. Of course, you can see the lines being there. Bobby and me will stay here. You girls cover the generator room. So, all right. So we're almost done here. And Ileana says she's almost empty from her powers, and asks where the bear came from. Oh, I said after Danny. And she asks Rain, says you were in her head. And look at Wolfsbane, kind of and she goes, I've told you all I know, witch. Relax, Fuzzy, I'm not the enemy. And she screams in pain. And she goes, he's upstairs, the bear. And you can see, oh my God, Sam here, and Bobby fighting the bear. I just love it. This is bigger than the roof. That's the thing. It's just, but should we stay here or go to their aid? Asked Wolfsbane. Stay here, girl. You don't ever desert a comrade, especially if she's wounded, says Magma. So suddenly they're all there, and so shoot, Bobby, the ugly sucker can teleport. Heads up, ladies, we're obliged for some help. And so the New Mutants fight the bear, but the bear is quite powerful here. Again, look at this. Just Bill Sienkiewicz is perfect. And again, she says with this stuff on her, it's an armor, I believe, that she has. More of that strange growth my back's covered with. I don't think it's harmful, though. The bear should have smashed me to pulp, but it did was ruin my costume. Did this stuff protect me? Some sort of armor? It is. I guess I have a whole lot more to learn about myself as the bear keeps attacking. Drive the bear away from the generators. My wards are weakening. I can't maintain them much longer. So, the soul sword heard it before. Maybe. Rain, look out, as she gets in the way here. And so, the critter looks like this just before it teleported. It's casting a spell. I can feel it. And, oh my God, look at that beautiful art. Do something, Ileana. You're the sorceress. Protect us, says Magma. I don't know how, says Ileana. And then suddenly you see this energy beam or beam kind of, and you see the hospital here. Just amazing, the art here. And here we are. And we have the bear, the sun, we have the desert, and then we have Corsi, we have the nurse, Sharon, and we have them operating on Danny. And look at this. And they're all like, what the heck is going on? And Ileana says, it's simple, Sam. The bear couldn't beat us in our turf, so he transported us to his. And it says to be concluded here. But I just want to show you, look at this art. My goodness gracious. It is just amazing how this was composed. It's screen tones here. Oh my goodness gracious. So, all right, The New Mutants number 19 by Chris Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz. Wow, wow, wow. This art is so good. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.